Thank you for joining Stretch and Flow with Rashi. We hope you enjoy this class. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hi everyone, it's Rashi from Stretch and Flow. I'm going to take you through about 20 to 25 minute flow, and I've been asked by a lot of people to do a flow for your core, your abs and your arms. And so people from all different walks of life, sports people, athletes, but also people that are generally just practicing some yoga but want to focus on a specific area. So I've done a fairly short flow but a fairly intense flow, so we might create a little bit of heat as we flow today. And the reason why the core and making sure that area is strong and supple is important is when we have a strong core, it helps protect the muscles in our back. We're less likely to suffer from issues of back pain, and also lowers our chance of injury. It also as well improves our posture and our balance when we hold our core in the correct way, and also improves that inner strength, helps with digestion. It's our main area where digestion occurs. So lots and lots of benefits, and in some of the Eastern religions, that belly area, that whole core area is supposed to be like that center point of life itself, and almost like it's the fire within the belly that stokes the rest of the body. So a really important part of our whole body structure, and by having a strong core, not only in the physical but also mentally, it can help us. With that arms as well that I've been asked for, generally just helps with strengthening and toning and posture as well. And often if we can keep those arms flexible and strong, sometimes this is the area, the neck and the shoulders and the arms, where we can hold a lot of tension. So by doing these series of postures, hopefully we'll release some of that tension, and coupling it obviously with the breath, which I cue a fair amount throughout the practice, will be beneficial for whether you're a sports person, an athlete, or just everybody in general. I will say that if you have got issues in your back or any area of your body, please treat it with compassion and kindness, and just move accordingly. As I said, it's a fairly intense and strong class. I will offer some modifications just to make it a little bit gentler for those needing a gentler practice. You don't need any props, just your mat. If you have a water bottle, we might create a bit of heat, so you might want to sip on water, and just take it at your own pace. If the whole practice is too intense, then just break it down and do bits at a time. So we'll first start off just in a seated posture. I'm on my knees today. Usually I'm cross-legged, but I thought I'd do something different. So either on your knees, you can have your legs out in front, or you can sit cross-legged, whatever's going to be comfortable for you. And then sitting up nice and tall, soften through the shoulders. We'll just do some breaths together just to get grounded and focused. So taking a deep inhale in through the nose, and then exhale out through the nose as well. Just keep breathing, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Just with your natural breath cycle. If it feels comfortable for you to lengthen the breaths, then go ahead. Otherwise, just be conscious of your inhale in and your exhale out. Perhaps as we practice today, working on the core, the abs, the arms, all areas which helps us with strength. Perhaps as we practice today, maybe be curious, let your meditation or let your mindfulness practice be not only your breath, but also what is it in life that keeps you strong? What is it that gives you strength in times of challenge? It might be a particular quality, it might be a person that you can bring to your mind's eye or your heart. It might be a faith of some sort. It might even just be a phrase or a mantra that you repeat to yourself. What is it that gives you strength? Let's take another breath in. Let the breath go. On the inhale, just bring the arms all the way up. Feel that first stretch in the arms. On the exhale, let's take a gentle twist, but keep it open so the arm muscles are switched on. Over to the right, so the left arm is in front, the right arm is behind. Take a breath in to lengthen. As you breathe out, turn and twist over the right shoulder. Imagine the two middle fingertips pulling away from each other. So we're starting to work those arm muscles. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to twist. One more breath here. And then bringing everything back round to center. Float the arms up again. Take a big breath in. And let's take that open twist on the other side. So this time the right arm's in front, the left arm behind. Inhaling, you're lengthening. Exhaling, twisting over that left shoulder. Trying to keep those arms at shoulder height, pulling the middle fingertips away from each other. One more breath. Everything comes back round to center. The arms reach up again. This time as you exhale, push the palms away. So again, trying to keep them at shoulder height. Imagine the palms are against a wall on each side and you're pushing the wall away from you. Keep the breath flowing. That's what's going to keep you focused when it gets a little bit more challenging. So as best as you can, keeping the arms at shoulder height. If it gets too intense, you can just drop your arms a little bit lower. But as best as you can, keeping them up nice and high. Keep the gaze in front of you so there's no straining in the neck. And keep the breath flowing. Let that be your focus, your breath. First, we're just going to make some circles one way and then the other way, perhaps the size of 10-cent pieces. And as you make the rotations, keep pushing the palms away from each other. And then start to make the rotations perhaps the size of tennis balls. And as you continue with this, you'll feel the intensity just increase. And now make the circles the size of dinner plates. So just rotating one way and then the other way. The breath is still flowing, your mind is still focused. And you're still pushing the arms away from each other as you make those rotations. One more breath. And then start to decrease the rotations to the size of tennis balls again. Keeping everything nice and flowing. And then the size of 10-cent pieces. You're probably feeling it in the arms now. Use your breath to help you. And let's keep those circles going. One more breath. And then bring those rotations to a stillness. Push the arms away from each other. Imagine you've got a wall each side. You're taking a breath in, letting the breath go. We're holding this. Keep pushing away for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep pushing hard. 4, 3, 2. Harder again. And 1. Take a deep inhale in through the nose, and as you lower the arms, just a big letting go sigh out the mouth. You probably feel that in the arms now. Take a gentle rotation of the shoulders one way, maybe a couple one way. Slow down your breath, and then take the rotation round the other way. And then whichever posture you're on, whether you're on your knees like me or whether you're cross-legged, start to make your way over onto all fours position. Bring the palms roughly shoulder width apart. The knees are roughly hip width apart. Keep the gaze down low. Soften the back of the neck. Let's take some cat-cow curls. So engaging the core. So when I say engage the core, it's just almost like you're just floating the belly button towards the spine. It's not a real like sucking in of that belly towards the spine. It's just a gentle lift. So almost like you're pulling a tissue out of a tissue box. and a gentle floating of belly button to spine. So when I say engage the core, that's the engagement I'm inviting you to take. So keep the gaze down low. Let's take some cat-cow curls. So on the breath in, the waist goes back as the gaze goes up. And on the breath out, rounding and arching, belly button to spine. Let's do a few more. Inhaling in, the waist goes back and the gaze goes up. As you exhale, rounding and arching. Keep that breath flowing as we do one more. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming back to a neutral spine, keep the gaze down low. We're extending the right arm in front and the left leg behind. So try and keep the arm at shoulder height and the leg at hip height, and you're pushing out through the sole of that left foot. Take a breath in, let the breath go. On your next inhale, stretch the limbs away from each other. On the exhale, bring knee to elbow, take a crunch, keep that core engaged, so belly button to spine. Inhale to extension with control. Exhale, taking the crunch. If you're wobbling, engage the core a little more. Inhale to take the extension. Exhale to round and take the crunch. We're doing two more. Breathing in to extension. Breathing out, taking the crunch. One more, inhale to extension. Exhale to take the crunch. Inhale, come back to extension, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, everything drops down onto the mat. Just float that left arm up, take the pressure off the wrist, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, just making some twirls as it lands back down on the mat. And once it's landed, take a cat-cow curl here, pushing that waist back as the gaze goes up, and as you exhale, rounding and arching. Back to a neutral spine. Let's take it on the other side. So this time the left arm and the right leg come behind you. Right leg behind you, left arm in front. And try not to jump into that right wrist. So push the mat away with that right palm. You're pushing out through the sole of the right foot, reaching forward with the left fingertips. Drop the gaze so there's no straining in the neck. Take a breath in an extension. As you breathe out, we're taking the crunch. Inhale to extension. Exhale to take the crunch. Three more in your own breath. Inhaling in, engaging the core to keep the hips steady. Exhaling. Two more. Breathing in. Letting the breath go. Remember, what is it that gives you strength in times of challenge? Use that right now. Take the breath in. Let the breath go. Don't dump into that supporting wrist. Come back to extension first. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, everything drops down onto the mat. This time the left hand stays on the mat. The right arm reaches up. The gaze can follow. And as you exhale, making those twirls of the right wrist as you come all the way down. Placing both hands on the mat, pressing down into the finger pads, digging the toes in and coming up for downward facing dog. So bending the knees so that the hips are up towards the ceiling, and then pushing the upper body back towards the thighs. Soften the gaze up towards the navel. Just allow that breath to enter. Allow the breath to leave. Getting that nice extension here. One more breath. When you're ready, inhale. The right leg extends all the way up. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, we're landing it through. Use your hands to help you if you need to. Angle the back foot to give you stability. Once you feel stable, press into the mat with the feet and windmill the arms up. So like a warrior two. On the breath in, we're reaching that front arm all the way back, reversing. Feel that stretch down the front of the body. On the breath out, we're dropping that front forearm on the front thigh and bringing that top arm over. So start to engage the core here. Float the belly button to the spine. Those of you that are wanting a little bit more core, We're releasing that bottom hand, bringing it as though you're catching a big beach ball. Your core will kick in to keep you stable, so keep that engagement. Then the most important thing is to keep that breath flowing. So press into the mat with the feet, reach over with the arm, keep the breath going, inhaling, exhaling, holding it for 3, 2, keep stretching over with the arms, 1, and then pivot the body all the way back. The back hand comes to meet the front hand. You're reaching up first, taking a big breath in. As you breathe out, come down and frame that front foot. Pivot on the ball of the back foot and push the foot to the back of the mat. Press into the mat with the palms as you release that right foot to meet the left. So we're in a high plank position. So make sure there's no dumping in the back. So I'm showing the misalignment here. See, my back is dipping. That will put strain on your back. We're engaging the core. So floating that belly button to spine, rounding through the shoulders, pushing out through the soles of the feet to give you that stability. If this is too much, this is the modification. You drop down onto your knees, and if that's too much, you take a cat-cow curl. So you're either like this, or you're in full high plank position. Keep the gaze low so there's no straining in the neck at all. A breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, elbows tucked in, keep the core engaged as you come all the way down. Inhale, you're pushing yourself up for a back bend, so up dog. Exhale, come down again. Lower down on the exhale, elbows tucked in. Inhale to push yourself back up again. And then as you exhale, digging the toes in, use your core strength to push yourself all the way back to downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhaling in, getting that nice extension of the spine. Feel the stretch in the arms as well. Exhaling out. 1 more breath. Inhaling in, push the upper body back towards the thighs. Let the breath go. This time on the inhale, the left leg extends all the way up. Take a big breath in like a one-legged dog. As you exhale, you're landing it all the way through. Angle the back foot to give you that stability. Once you're stable, warrior 2 on the other side. So adjust the feet if you need to. The arms are extended. Take a quick glance at that back hand to make sure it's roughly in line with the front. We're flipping the front palm. On the breath in, we're reaching up and over. On the breath out, that left forearm comes onto that front thigh. The back arm comes all the way over. So press down into the mat with the feet. Reach over with that top arm. And if you want that extra core engagement, the bottom arm releases in line as though you're reaching over, catching the beach ball. The breath is what's going to help you keep focused. Engage the core. Let's hold this for 3, 2, 1. Bring everything all the way back. The back hand comes to meet the front hand. The arms reach up. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, pivot on the ball of the back foot as you come down, framing that front foot. Pressing into the mat with the palms. We're bringing the left foot to meet the right in high plank position. Engage that core, soften the gaze. Drop the knees if you need to, or take a cat-cow is always an option. Almost like you're hugging the inner part of the arms together. Take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, coming down with control, the elbows tucked in. Inhale, you're pushing yourself up again for a back bend. Exhale to come down. Inhale to come back up, dig the toes in and back to downward facing dog again. Let's take 2 to 3 rounds of breath here. Catch your breath if you need to. You might be creating a little bit of heat. As we breathe and start to work that core and ab area, we create a little bit of heat in the belly. Like I mentioned before, it's almost like that core is like the centre of your body, like the fire that's stoking up to fuel the rest of your body. One more breath here. And then roll the hips forward into high plank. Engage the core here. So this is quite an intense set of exercises for the core. If at any time you need to drop your knees, you can drop your knees and do the same exercise. I'll show you the modification. If you're taking the full plank position, engage the core, push out through the soles of the feet. We're taking mountain climbers. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, right knee taps right elbow. Engage the core. Exhale, the foot drops back. Other side. Keep going with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And the modification is the same, but you're just on your knees, but the core is still engaged. I'm showing the modification. So let's do another 10, whether you're in full high plank or you're on your knees. So let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, you're probably creating a bit of heat, 6, 5, keep the core engaged, the gaze down, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop the knees, split them to mat distance. Just push yourself into child's pose. So drop the hips to the heels, bring the arms out, and either drop your head onto the mat or make a little cushion with your fists. So you may have created a little bit of heat in that set of exercises. We're doing another set of 10. So just catch your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more breath. And then push the hips up, coming back onto all fours first. Dig the toes in, come into downward facing dog first. Take a breath in here. Let the breath go. And then rolling the hips forward either into full high plank or you're dropping the knees down. So engage the core, keep the gaze low so there's no straining in the neck. Take a breath in to prepare. Inhale, exhale, take the crunch. Inhale back, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's go for 10, 10, 9, keep the core engaged, 8, 7, use your breath, 6, 5, 4, keep the hips steady, 3, 2, 1, drop down onto all fours. Just this time walk the hands back towards the knees, just curl yourself up into a little ball. The arms can come behind you. Catch your breath. You're inhaling and you're exhaling. One more. Take a breath in. Let the breath go. And then gently lifting the body up. Walking the hands back. Digging the toes in. Coming into downward facing dog. Pushing the upper body back towards the thighs. And this time come into dolphin. So dropping down onto your forearms, interlacing the fingers and pushing the upper body back towards the thighs. Feel the muscles in the arms switch on, but try not to tense through the shoulders. Keep working on that breath. Keep your mind focused. So this time we're going to do some leg kicks here. So on the inhale, the right leg comes up. Exhale to drop down. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale to drop down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, It's not necessarily speed, it's more control. 2, 1, hold it here, push the upper body back towards the thighs. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. 1 more breath. Drop the knees down, release the hands, come back onto all fours here. So make any adjustments that you might need to make. Let's take 2 cat-cow curls. Inhaling in, the waist goes back as the gaze goes up. As you exhale, rounding and arching. 1 more, breathing in and letting the breath go. Back to a neutral spine. Dig the toes in, come back into downward facing dog first. Widen through the collarbone. Push the upper body back towards the thighs. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Take a breath in, let the breath go. Again, roll the hips over towards the palms in high plank. Push out through the soles of the feet to keep you stable. So we're bringing the 2 big toes together. And again, if you need to drop down onto the knees, you can. I'll show you the modification. Take a breath in, keep the core engaged. So floating the belly button to the spine. Swivel the heels over to the right. So it's side plank. And then the left arm reaches up. So keep the hips nice and high, the core engaged. Imagine the shoulders stacking on top of each other. If that's too much, you drop that bottom knee down like I'm showing you and push that back foot out towards the back of the mat. If you're wanting a bit more strength, you stay on both feet, lifting the hips up, and then bring that top arm over the head. So feeling that stretch down the side of the body, push the mat away with the bottom hand and keep the hips pushing up high. Holding it for 5, keep the breath flowing, 4, you can add a smile on your face to help. 3, 2, 1. Bring that left hand back, swivel back into high plank, and then push back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in, let the breath go, and then rolling the hips forward again, bringing the 2 big toes together again. Let's swivel the hips over to the left. This time the left hand stays on the mat and the right arm reaches up. So again, if that's too intense, you just drop that bottom knee and make it into a modified side plank. If you're wanting strength, you stay onto both feet, really reaching up with the top arm. Take a breath in, let the breath go. And then if you want that lateral stretch on the other side of the body, bring that top arm over the head. Keep pushing the hips up, keep the core engaged, holding it for 3, or actually it was 5, wasn't it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That right hand drops back down. Come back into high plank first. Engage the core, drop the knees if you need to. If it's too much and you're taking the strain in your back, drop the knees. Let's hold this for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, keep the core engaged, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, keep the breath flowing, 4, remember what gives you strength, 3, 2, 1, drop the knees down, widen them onto your mat. Let's take a breather, come into child's pose, drop the head down, take 5 to 10 breaths here, just slowing down the breath cycle, inhaling and exhaling. One more breath. And then gently lifting the hips up Bringing the knees together, just kick the ankles over to the side and come on to your sit bones and extend the legs down onto your mat. Bring the two big toes together and really sit up nice and tall. You might be starting to feel it in your arms and your core. I'm sure you'll feel it tomorrow as well. So pushing out through the soles of the feet, the heels are dug in, the toes are pointing up. Interlace the fingers. On the breath in, we're creating length. Take a big breath in, keep the core engaged, so floating that belly button to the spine. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, we start to lean back, engaging the core, so it's like you're scooping that belly in, pushing out through the soles of the feet and reaching forward with the arm, holding it here. Use your core, so coming up really slow, and you'll use your core a little bit more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, coming down, engaging the core. One more, let's come up slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big stretch. Exhale, coming down, using your core. Reaching forward with the arms, softening the neck, focusing the gaze. Let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reach all the way up. As you exhale, split the hands, bring them behind you, give your shoulders plenty of room. Point the toes away from you. Press into the palms. You might just want to stay here and take a back bend. If you're wanting a little bit more, press into the palm, lift the hips up. The feet can drop onto the mat and feel that strength in your arms. You can drop the head back, tuck the chin in slightly to protect the neck. Let's hold this one for 10, 9, use your arm strength, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck the chin in towards the chest as you lower yourself down. Bringing the spine back to neutral, bending the knees. The feet are roughly hip width apart. For some of you, you might want to bring the feet a little bit close together, but otherwise, for me, hip width apart is a good posture for me. Take a breath in, let the breath go. So we've got a few options here. If you're wanting a more gentler practice, bring the arms out to your side, keeping the arm muscles switched on, palms facing inwards. On the inhale, you're reaching up with that right foot. Exhale, tapping it down. Inhale, left foot comes up. Exhale, tapping it down. And you can keep doing like this alternately. Or if you're wanting a little bit more core, bring both feet up. Engage the core. You can hold on to the thighs if that helps, or bring the arms to the side. Keep the gaze focused. Some of you may want to add a bit of a twist here. So inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, take the twist. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale to take the twist. Keep the breath going, the core switched on. One more. Inhale on each side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more for good measure. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Drop the feet down, give yourself a big hug, wrap your arms around the legs, tuck the head in. Just take a few breaths here, breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. And then very gently, just start to lower yourself so the whole of the body's resting on the mat. The legs are extended. We're bringing the palms facing down underneath the sit bones. So like you're making a little cushion for those hips. On the inhale, again the modification is you just do one leg at a time. If you're wanting a little bit more core, you do both legs. So on the inhale, either one leg or both legs are extending up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're lowering the feet or one foot, coming down nice and slow, just until the feet are hovering a couple of inches above the mat. Take a pause, and then inhale, the legs shoot up again. Exhale, coming down with control, taking a pause. Inhale, the legs shoot up. Exhale, lowering down, taking a pause. One more. Inhale, the legs shoot up. If you're doing alternate legs and you need to do an extra one to balance yourself out, then go ahead. Otherwise, let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then start to scissor the legs. So crossing the ankles over, and we'll go for 10. Keep the core engaged. If you're feeling any strain in your back, drop the feet down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Half, quarter, a third, one more. Bring the knees in for a squeeze. Wrap your arms around. Take a gentle rock from side to side. Whew. A deep inhale through the nose. A big letting go sigh out the mouth. And then gently just dropping the feet back down. Perhaps either rolling over to one side, or if you're wanting a little bit more core to finish off your practice, bring your hands at the back of the thighs, otherwise just come up into a seated posture if this is too much for you. And we're just taking some roll-ups, so using your core and a bit of momentum, rolling up. Try not to let the feet drop onto the mat to engage the core, and then rolling back. It's a little bit of fun too. Coming up, hovering, and then dropping back, coming up. Let's do one more. Dropping back, coming up, and then drop the feet on the floor. Come into a comfortable seated posture. Let's just finish off with a little bit of breath work, just to regulate the breath, to calm the body down. So you can either shut the eyes down or just take a little gaze. Let's do some deep breaths together. So inhaling in through the nose for a count of 1, 2, 3. Pausing for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Pause for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Just do a couple more rounds in your own breath, just slowing everything down without rushing. Notice how the body's feeling. Notice how the mind's feeling, and then come back to, especially if you're athletes or if you play sports or team sports or individual sports, what is it that when the game or the match or things get challenging within your team, what is it that is going to give you that strength and that focus and that clarity? We can all do physical exercise like this 20-25 minute flow, strengthening our core, our abs and our arms. Sometimes the more challenging thing is to give that strength and focus and clarity within our minds. So to keep that strength when things might get a little bit tough, take a moment if you haven't already, to draw on that when life gets challenging. So there it is, the workout for your core, your abs and your arms. I know my muscles are certainly feeling it. It's pretty quick and intense. And yeah, it's a great one to do just to strengthen those areas, to fire up that belly and to give you inner strength as well as the outer physical strength. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and leave any feedback, and if you've done the practice, it'd be great to hear what you thought of it. So any comments would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us for Stretch and Flow with Rashi. We hope you've enjoyed the class. Please subscribe and make sure if you have any questions, please send an email, get in touch some way. Once again, thank you and have a great day.